Hey guys, how are you doing? How is everyone? Okay, so today we are going to be getting into sci-fi and doing something interesting. Hopefully, I have some reference images and I've provided a link in the description or in the chat for anyone who wants to look at some of the references we are going to be using. They're all from ArtStation. And yeah, we are going to be making sci-fi, more like a sci-fi corridor. And I guess we can start right now. Okay, so the plan is, let me first duplicate this one here. As we are waiting for more people to come in, let's look at some reference images off of ArtStation. You can see some of these styles that people are using here. And we are going to continuously going back to the references to see how things, what kind of style we are going to go for. But yeah, let's begin. So, how are you guys been? How is everything? How's your blendering been? Hello, Impulse. How are you doing? Is everything great where you are? Yeah, I'm not sure what style I want to go for here, but let's see what we come up with. I'm just going to use a mirror modifier. Let me actually add an empty that is going to control the mirror object. So mirror, then add in. Hello, fire in the sky, burning trap. Welcome back again. I'm glad to see you here. How was your day? How is everyone's day? So everything is going to be mirrored around here. Let me set up our camera. So that, and I think corridors are usually modular. So if you look at these, you'll see that most of them are very modular and are repeated. So you create one part and then make it repeat a few times. Make it repeat a few times. Okay, these are very large images. That's why you're taking a minute to load. Hey, Bobby, why? It's nice to see familiar names in the chat. How are you doing? Welcome back. Great. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, you can see, like I was saying, that these corridors are usually repeated. They have a lot of repetition, so we don't have to make a lot of things. So what I'm going to do is do the same thing. So make this also very modular. And I think one of the best way to do it is to create everything within a collection. So I'll call this module like module 1, and I can move it off center a bit, and maybe that won't be a problem. But if I move it somewhere like this, what I can do, I can use a collection instance of the module, and this is just going to be a duplicate of this collection. So I can bring, but the problem is that it's going to be offset from the center, but that's not an issue. That's not going to be a problem. Yeah. So everything I add into this collection is going to be duplicated here. So let's say I add a cube in this collection. You can see it's also being added to this instance, And what this will allow me to do is that since this now acts as a single object, what I can do is, let me first reduce on this audio a bit. What I can do now is I can duplicate this a few times on the y-axis, shift D, so I can easily make this. And since I've set up my camera to be here, I just have to come back into this and make changes, and they will reflect in here with all the duplicates picking up the same shape, which is a nice way to work. It's a very modular. Let me turn on ambient occlusion, some screen space reflections. Yeah, just going to grab this face, make this corridor a little bit wider. Yes, angle it a bit. Something like this, and do the same, maybe up here, and then it comes right back. Yeah, something like that. And yeah, as I said, I can make changes to this, and then the changes will reflect here. Thank you, Sharif, for subscribing. Really appreciate it. So let's see. We can start playing with lights, but I'm going to create the lights outside the main collection, this module, so that I can easily, so that it's not repeating. So first I'm going to reduce the ambient light to completely 0. Now put a light at the back here, and I want it to be outside this collection. So let's see, something like that. And I'm also going to add an area light here at the face. So it has some bit of light, but that's a bit too much. And I can also come in and start working on some texturing. Let me just see what kind of texturing I want for this. We can start with animate texture. Let's go to resources. Let's look at for some grunge maps. Yes, use box mapping on this. We're going to have some scratches. Maybe make this metallic, and give this also a nice bevel. Shade smooth, hard surface. So we have some nice rounded corners. Now I can play with the lights, with the colors a bit here. There may be adding another grunge map. Just to break up the reflections just a bit, and I can use multiply. Let's see if we use screen. We have something like that. And now the great thing about this now is that I can come back to this and start adding in some nice details. For example, I can, let's see if I can do something. I can grab this edge. Let's see if I pull it like this and then pull this. Maybe get rid of these edges. Let's insert this, then bevel this. You can see now that detail is going to be repeated everywhere on this. I can get rid of this. So it seems that the light we have in the back there looks a bit too bright for me, so let me just do something like that. Now we can come in and add extra details. So in my asset library, I have a few kit bash items I made, so I can reuse them here. Just make sure that I'm in the modular collection. I can start adding in some extra details that I think might be interesting. Just going to make sure that they have the same material. And you can see they're getting repeated everywhere, so you can choose how detailed you want to be, but let me add in a few extra details here and see how. And these are basic meshes, so let me just add a cube here just for extra detailing. Maybe just give it the same material. I'm actually going to use object mapping for these materials here. Let's see. Yes, place this here, use the same material. Material, I don't need it to have this bevel. So I have a few. These are pre-made material, pre-made assets that I made in my free time to use in live stream. So that because these are very small details, and they make your scene look more detailed, and they do take some time to create. So that's why you see I made them before I started the live stream, so that I don't take up too much of your time creating these basic simple shapes. But they can add a few extra details to your scene if used. And I also have a keypad here I can reuse. Just link them to have the same material. And let's look at other things we have here. See, small things like this. Okay, can make the scene look much better. I just snap it here. Then maybe let's add in some lights. So this could be like an intercom. So extrude. Just going to first get rid of this, and I'm going to add something in the back here, like some kind of door at the back. So for that, I'm just going to duplicate this, but make sure that it's outside the collection, the scene collection. Just get this. Just want only this. So you guys, right, today you have chosen to be very quiet. So what have you been up to? Okay, this, let's just use, instead of using a mirror object, yes. Yeah, so we have something at the back there. Maybe we could create a more interesting shape by just making this a little bit wider, maybe. I don't, maybe bring this a little bit down. Just trying to look for a better shape for what we are going for here. Just select these parts and bring them back. And I have some lines here I could add in. Maybe these could also take up the same material, but we can change it just a little bit. Hello, Eddie. How are you? Nice to see you back. Nice material. Oh, thank you. And it's very, very basic. Very, very simple. Just I'm using about two images for the roughness. No normal map, no what, just the roughness. And I get those nice scratches. I guess if you have a better texture, then yeah, it makes it much easier as well. And this could be, and I can also have a mirror. Thank you, Michelle Delevin, for subscribing. Really appreciate it. I'm going to use this. So everything I make here, this side, I want it to be mirrored on the opposite side. So I'm just going to select this. Give it the same modifier so that they are mirrored. Can also just duplicate this. Really good for no bump. Yes, I found that sometimes materials without bump maps look much better without bump maps than with bump maps. So you can always try, experiment and see how your material will look without bump maps, especially for walls. What GPU are you using? And can I do this task using a 4GB? So I have a 60 Ti, sorry, 1060, and a 3GB. So maybe even less than what you have. And what I'm doing is not that complicated. It's not it's not that CPU intense. I try to select projects that are not going to be too heavy for my computer, so that I can complete them. Because one of the things you have to get better at, if you're trying to do this for a long time, for a while, is know the projects you can complete that fit within your workflow. So there is no point in working on a project that you will never complete because you're limited by your computation power. So I try to make sure that everything I do can be handled by my computers. And it seems that what you're using is more powerful than mine, so yeah, no excuses. You should be able to do what I'm doing and maybe even much better. 90. Great advice. Thank you so much. Thank you from Bangladesh. Thank you. How is Bangladesh? I really want to start traveling the world because I've not left the continent. I've just been in a few countries, but not outside my continent. So, yeah, is Bangladesh a nice place to travel? Because I just hear about it in the news, and not very often as well. They should have the same modifier as this, but no bevel. Okay, we need the bevel. With no bevel. Let's look at how it looks here. I think the reflections might be a bit too much, so I'm going to reduce them just a bit using a math node. And now we can add in light in here. So I'll just add a point light. Hello, Ikas. No animation kid anymore. He's not here today. Maybe he's completing his movie. Now, I think he was trying to create a movie within 3 days. He must have passed his deadline. That kid was crazy, man. But funny as well, so it kept the chat a bit entertained, which is always great. That kid wanted to make a full-length movie without knowing any animation, without knowing any modeling. I guess that's how everyone starts, yeah. Because I remember the first time when I was getting into 3D, my dreams were to make a full movie with everything, cities, cars, characters, fully animated. And then you start working on a city, and it takes you about 5 hours just on one building, and then you realize maybe you bit off more than you could chew, and then you give up, and then try again tomorrow. This time maybe you want to just make a city block and start from there. Then you realize that's also too much until you give up on the entire thing. Please shout out to Sajun, Mahmood, and Moon. Shout out them. Nikki, hi, I'm good. I am good. I'm good. Thank you. How are you? How are you this fine day? It's really a fine day. Unfortunately, may not be able to. Actually, I will try to go outside today. I rarely go outside, but I'll go maybe for some swimming, and then today is a Friday, so maybe no. I have a lot of work that has to be done. So maybe I'll go do swimming tomorrow, maybe on Saturday or Sunday. So you see how we're getting in quite a lot of details in here. Some pipes. I love pipes, man. They kind of add some interesting details to the scene. It's too much. Let's see. We need a way to light this area here so that the work we have done can actually show. We can see the work we have done. So I'm going to add a light, which I think I have somewhere. Actually, let's just create one. Can just start with a mesh. Something like this. So this is going to be like our sci-fi lights. So let's give them an emissive material. Shade emission. Turn on bloom. I want them to be a bit thin, so I'm just going to use in video scaling. Let's add a light here. This needs to be mirrored as well. Let's also do the same for the light. Maybe we can extend this even further to the back, just so our corridor is a bit longer, and I can. And working like this is much better than using an array, because you're just working with a single, you just have to worry about one object instead of multiple objects. Okay. Hello, my friend. Hello, Elias. How are you doing? Nice seeing you again. Yes. I'm doing great. I'm doing great as well. Thank you for asking. I'm doing great. Let's apply the mirror for now, and we're just going to start detailing on adding some details out of this door here, so that we can get some interesting. Okay, this has to be. I'm just going to insert this. Add in some extra details, and like some of these, you can see that they really look great with some number details. Hey Rambato Milner, I would like to know if it is possible to use all this epic Unreal lighting and height effects. Well, I guess it depends on your computer. If you're asking if Blender can handle it, I think Blender can, but it's going to be it's your computer that is really going to determine that. Just going to use some nice fonts I downloaded. I just want my fonts. Just adding some details. Just so we don't have that Z fighting, I'm just going to grab this just a little bit in front. Hello, Organic Studio. Nice to see you back. You know what we are going to do, just because I want to maintain some contrast, because I think if we have everything well lit, the scene is not going to look super good as I want it. So what we're going to do is just go to this module here, and instead of using the lighting directly in here, let me just get rid of it like that, because I think we need to have control over the light ourselves. This should be outside in the scene collection. Want to be able to control the light ourselves. That gives us some nice. Okay, also want this. This shouldn't be. This text here shouldn't be repeated. Should be in the scene. I think these lights here, let's try making them a bit more powerful and see. Okay. Give them a nice reddish color. And now we can use a light a point light. Just going to make it a little bit faint. Just going to make it a bit so that we just have very little ambient lighting. Actually, let's make this an area light. Just make it a bit. So only in but I also want some of these to be lit, so I'm just also going to add a light somewhere here. Hello Himashu, how are you doing? Show the texture of the wall. Okay, let me do that. Let me first get this light here. Let's try. Okay, so you want to see the texture of the wall. That is this here. And I think I'm going to change this a bit in some areas. So let me just duplicate this material and make it non-metallic for some places. So for example, inside this here, I think it will allow us to have some nice contrast. Just playing with different colors. I'll call this yellow. I'll also add in a few spots. I want to be working in the modular here. I want to add in some. Let me see what I have in my kit brush. If I have some interesting lights I could use. Okay, this is meant to be like a smoke detector. I'm just going to use it as a light. Just have to add in that detail. So this is going to be our light. see what else can we add in here. Also have some of these details here, so let me add them to the ground here, just so the surface here is also a little bit detailed, because right now it looks a bit plain. And thank you, Misail Ubani. Thank you for subscribing. And if anyone is new here and hasn't subscribed or liked, that would be amazing if you did. Let's see, what else could we add in here? Let me see. I have a few other details that I have. I can add that in. Let's get a more dark material like that, and we can also add in some text. To go, some sci-fi text to go with everything. So you just have to select a different font. For this, let's go with try this. Maybe just let's try a different font, a more bold font. You can also give it the same material as this, so that it has some detail. You can see most of the details we have this side are not mirrored, so I'm just going to mirror them. Control, select nearly everything here. And that should have it mirrored on the other side. And since we already have these pipes, we can reuse them like here. Okay, what am I doing? You can make this wall even more detailed. I'm just going to add another loop here, and maybe another one here. Just grab these, insert them, and then just bevel the vertices until we get some rounded corners like that. Then those can be inserted again, just then pushed in. Let me see. Just scale them as in videos. Just so we can have an extra thing. Just going to grab this, add that here, and these are going to be like I don't know, instructions. Just because we are to continue with the theme of sci-fi, we can add in more sci-fi details here. Link modifiers, link materials. See, it's coming out, I think, nicely, and getting better and better details. And maybe we can also try detailing this side, and maybe this time we can have this extend all the way down. So just going to add a loop like that, and maybe let me actually make this. Let's see what we get. Yeah, something like that. Then I'm going to insert. Let's see what can I do here, because what I want to do is first let's insert this as a single block. Do the same here. Then Shift B, round off the corners. Just a bit, except for this. I'm surprised only 17 are watching because most I've just got into live streaming and yeah, I'm still figuring out the right setup and the right time. Yeah, it takes it takes a while for your stream to get anywhere with that numbers because especially if your content has not been mainly live streaming. Usually the live streaming audience is different from what from the regular content live stream. Is this live stream going to be uploaded on YouTube so we can watch it at any time? Yes, it's the live streams are always available after. Yes. Lots of viewers in different time zone. Yeah, yeah, and most of my viewers are not used to live streaming. So and the like I said, the audience is completely different. People who usually watch live streams are not the kind of people who watch. The people who watch. How is it called? Non-live streams of videos just that are already uploaded. I usually not the same audience who watch live streams, and most of my audience has been that kind of audience because I haven't been doing a lot of live streams. But I like this kind of format because it's interactive. You can ask questions and I can also answer them, and I get to know you guys. Heather, how many years have you been learning? Have you been using Blender? Well, consistently it would be like 5 years, but I've been using Blender for quite some time. Maybe like something like 10 years, I think. If you are counting the first day I opened Blender, it would be around 10 years, but I was off and on. I wasn't using Blender consistently. I started when I was 11 years of age, and how old are you now? "16. Wow, very young. Very young. So by the time you get like 20, you'll be, I think, very, very great at what you do. So I'm like you, I felt I left Blender in middle of studies, yeah. Because I did some programming. When I was doing programming, I had to take a break from Blender because I didn't have enough time to handle Blender and other things. What was my first Blender? Are you asking me? Because that was Blender 2.73. Sorry, 2.47. A or B? Something like that. I think it was B. What would you make of what? Let me actually get rid of this bevel. It's not doing much, but it's definitely chewing up my RAM. My dude, I'm working on a sci-fi theme too. Cheers. That would be great to see what you have done. Oh, bro. That is Nikhil Dravid. You guys have really difficult names to pronounce. Maybe it's a result of my accent, but yeah. And we have Toasubasi. Great. Thank you. Have disgusted. This guy is Kratos. Oh, whoa, bro. Thank you. What was your first render? I couldn't remember. I made a ship. I think I don't know, maybe a building. It must have been a tutorial. And not a donut tutorial because the donut tutorial was not made yet. That tells you how long I have been using Blender. I started using Blender before Andrew Price created the donut tutorial. That should give you an idea. Call me Nick. Well, so hi, how are you doing, Nick? That is much easier to pronounce. How's your machine handling streaming and 3D modeling at the same time? Well, it's handling it, I think, very well. Especially because I'm not really doing that much complicated things. Let me see actually how it's handling things. So it's using, I don't know. You can see my PC is not that powerful, and you can see the graphics card. It's a 1060, and when I open up Blender, I think it goes up to. Let me see. When I'm working in Blender, let's see how high does it go. It goes up to around 40. Now, if I move within the lit area, you can see it goes up to 100% because it's calculating all the lights and everything else in there. My PC could have crashed. So what PC are you using? I used to think I was the one, I had the worst PC among Blender artists, but I guess I'm not. I guess it's not me who is the worst PC here. It's the same thing with you. Maybe you're trying to do a lot of things at the same time. Sucks. Yeah, I was working on a laptop that was 1050 Ti. That had a 1050 Ti. I think it was 6 GB, but this handles better because it's a desktop. So if you're going to do this kind of work, I recommend you buy a desktop instead of a laptop because desktops are usually better than laptops, and even with the same specifications. Because my laptop has more RAM, has more graphics card than this, but this handles Blender much better than my laptop. So I think we are good here. It's the lighting that lacks a bit. Let's see if we use an HDRI image. See. Let me just. I don't like using it because it makes it a bit difficult to control your lighting. But we are also lacking light, because I want some of these areas to be lit so that we can see the details that we spend a lot of time working on. My father is going to buy me, after 1.5 years from now, it's going to be a good one with a 16 GB RAM at least. I applied for the ArtStar program. I don't know if you know about that or not, but if I'm chosen, I might get one for free. I don't know what that is. So what is it exactly? Maybe don't tell us, because then everyone in the chat will try to sign up, reducing your chances of getting in maybe. But if you're not worried about that, you can tell us as well. Let's try making this a little bit more powerful and see. Yes, about 500. Let's get the camera here. Lighting is cool, don't mess now. You mean I shouldn't mess it up? Yes, change the angle a bit. Get a 2 GB RAM if you can. 16 might get old soon. Yeah. By the time, if you're going to get a computer in 1.5 years, by the time you get it, the RAM, the specification you will get are not going to be enough, because the better the computers get, the more things developers throw at it. So you're going to be requiring more RAM in the next future than you're requiring it than what you need now. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Well, it is a program sponsored by many organizations, and XP Pen. They are going to choose 60 people this year and provide equipment that they need, also sponsored by CG Boost. So where is that located? Because I don't think it can be international, because the shipping for anything international is just too hard. So is it just available where you are? Fire in the sky, burning trap. How are you? Thank you for being around. I think, have you been in the chat? Fire in the so burning trap, have you been in the chat? Because I don't think I had seen you. But anyway, if you're just getting here, how are you? I use 24 GB of RAM and extra storage for Blender only. Yeah, 24. I wish I had that. I can afford getting a larger spec, like maybe something around maybe $4,000 US. But yeah, right now I'm doing a lot of things that are eating up my money. So yeah, and I haven't really needed, like, if I was really serious about it, I haven't really needed that much RAM in a while. So okay, I think I've selected too much things here. It's going to. I'm a bit fortunate that I can justify the expense of buying a more powerful computer, or a much more expensive computer, because yeah, the excuse would be that it's part of my business. So, but right now it's really difficult because I'm trying to do quite a lot of things that are eating up money. But I might struggle with getting 16 GB RAM, sadly. I'm in India, but I think it's all over the world. Ah, that's great. That's great. Out here. You might struggle to get 16 GB of RAM. Why would you struggle to get 16 GB of RAM? Is it not available? Because I think India is quite technologically like, yeah, you have access to a lot of things that we might not have access to here. So I'm wondering why would it be difficult to get? Do you mean to get it in the competition? Just trying to add some details to the Kratos. You deserve more views. We'll get there. I decided not to worry too much about the numbers when working because it can become very stressful, and you grow naturally. So you get there. You get there sometimes. You can't really expect things to just work out. It takes a bit of time, and I'm okay with having as little as 18 viewers, as long as we can keep talking in the chat. And yeah, I get to know you. It's much easier. I have to remember your names. I have to remember everything. Why I don't have option for super chat? I'm not sure why. Maybe. So which country are you from? I'm not, because it should be available. Maybe, I don't know. Do you have it for other creators? At the rate Blender is updating, 32 GB might be the way to go. Not necessarily, depending on what you do, because, but more is usually better. But more is also usually more expensive. So unless budget is not a problem, then if budget is not a problem, I guess you would already have that. And but when you have budget constraints, then you have to be a bit more careful with how you spend. What is your Insta? So I think it's Top Channel 1-on-1, but I rarely post anything there. Quality over quantity, am I right? Yeah. Quality over quantity is always great. But if I may ask, if you were to choose between, let's say, 32 GB of RAM and an RTX 3080, what would you choose? Which one would be better? If you only had to get one of the two. Let's look at what we have. The RTS 30. Oh, fucking course. Yeah. I would get that. But yeah, they are quite expensive this side. And so if they almost sell twice as, they are twice as expensive here than in the US, because yeah, plus the shipping and everything, and because they are quite rare, yeah, people who have access to them are really selling them at a high price. So everyone is saying an RTX. What about if you're getting an i9 maxed out at maybe 120 GB of RAM versus just getting an RTX 3070? I had to compromise on RTX 70 and 16 GB of RAM, but might upgrade to 32 GB. So, you only had money to get 16 GB of RAM and 370. I guess you have to balance it at some point, yeah. RTX 3080, Batman. So everyone would choose a better graphics card, eh? Yeah. I would to get a RTX 3080 if I could get it. Sometimes I watch live streams on Twitch, and I see someone with two 3080s and maybe 120 GB of RAM playing Minecraft, and God, like why don't we just get a dual core? It should be enough to play Minecraft, and just hand me that at 1080 or 1090. I'm doing job to buy RTX. So do you have access to them? Because I found that you might have the money but not really have anywhere to find them, to buy them. So that's also another issue. Fiesta Cadeva, they are more rare and pricier. So for free, I'll take the RTX any day. I guess that's painful. Yeah, man. People just using them for not just video games. Okay, maybe some of them, but most of them just play them. They just use them for playing video games. But yeah, I guess it's also part of their job, so they are kind of investing into it. But it makes you a bit envious, wishing you could get it for yourself. At the price they are right now, might just wait it out. Yeah, by the time, if you wait it out, then let's say you wait it out for 2 more years, they will release something like a 4080, and then maybe for what then maybe you don't really need a 4080 by the time they release it. But usually when they release something like that, these companies are also clever. They want you to buy the new stuff. So what they do is they release a software package or something like a new denoiser that only works specifically on the new graphics cards they use. So if you have if you wait out for a 1060, by the time you get it, it won't be that useful, because now you have new software that don't work with it. Yeah, they are very smart. I guess if I was doing business, that's what I would do exactly. And I think that's why you see NVIDIA getting into Blender and trying to sponsor it, even making tools. I remember when the optics denoiser was released, it was only working in higher spec graphics cards. It wasn't even working on 1060s. So if you're just waiting out for them to drop in price, you might be a bit disappointed. You would get them, but they won't be as useful. Have you ever tried Cinema 4D or 3ds Max? Yes, I have, and I can actually do some stuff in Cinema 4D and 3ds Max. But the issue with them is, I don't know, they're not as shortcut heavy like Blender. So working in Blender is much faster, especially in if you're trying to model something. Yes. So NVIDIA and any other graphics card companies do exactly what Apple does. They hold off any new features they could add into their iPhone until the next version, and they even just release very basic functions. Because you see, Android, all the functionalities, like iPhones have just about like 20% of what Androids can do. It's not that Apple is not very innovative. It's that just giving away these features for free doesn't make them any money, so they choose to wait it out until you're willing to pay for that new feature, for that extra feature. How much time does it take to learn Blender for noobs? Well, it depends on it actually depends on you. How much time you're willing to put in. and yeah, and how frequent you practice. So I can't really give you a straight number. So let's see. We are 1.5 hours into the stream, and this is what we have managed to do. Which I think looks great. And we can add in a few extra details. So I have in my asset library, I have some, if I go to the city park, Fiesta Cadeva, I am just starting and following Blender Guru's everyday work. Does he do everyday work? I think he posts like once in a month. Maybe on Instagram, I'm not sure. I follow him on Instagram, but I don't really keep updated. I'm not very updated on his stuff there. I am a VFX artist and I'm learning Blender now. That's amazing. So what are you learning it for? Is it for to make movies? Do what? CG Geek is also nice. And there is Blender Binge. I think now he calls himself, actually I don't remember the name, but if you search up Blender Binge, you can get some nice tutorials. There's also Grant Habit. Is also a nice YouTube channel, especially for beginners. If you're just trying to get into Blender, it's a very nice channel to get you started. He recommends that Blender beginners try to work on it every day, just are the habits of good artists. Yeah. It's great advice. Scene looks great. Thank you. Yes. I want to see how it renders in cycles, but I'm afraid my stream might crash. But we're going to do it anyways, because we are almost done with the modeling and everything, and we are already 1.5 hours into the stream. So if it crashes, we have done something today. It's not a big problem. So you can see that sometimes it's very, very slow if I'm moving within my scene, because I think it is starting to overwhelm the computer a bit. Yeah, looks sick. This looks good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for reminding me that, Kratos. I should be saving. And usually what I do, I save 2 copies so that if the first one crashes or gets corrupted, I have a backup as well. So I'm adding in those lines. And I think what I'm missing here are some support beams. So if I just get a loop like this, now you see, if I have lights turned on here, or if I'm in rendered mode, Blender is a bit slow in some places. So you can see it lags a bit there. So that's why sometimes you'll see me switching between different views. I type Ctrl S every 5 seconds. Yeah, me too. I forgot to add on the shortcuts. Okay, so we have, this. Now what I want is to have some bit of kind of support beam. So I'm going to do it like this. So let me ask you guys, since you are a Blender community, I want to ask you, how many of you know at least one person who uses Blender within your neighborhood? Like, do you know anyone? Are you next to any Blender artists? Because I know a few, but I know like 4 to 5 people in my country, at least, sorry, in my neighborhood. But I know there are more than that in my country, but yeah. Not locally that I know of. I'm sure there's dozens. But what about on Facebook? Do you see anyone from your neighborhood, or maybe not even your neighborhood? Let me see what, because here we have districts. So do you have anyone posting from within maybe like 30 miles from where you are? None of my friends use it. Yeah, me too. Actually, for me, because I tried to turn this into a business, I've got in touch with a few artists who are not exactly in my neighborhood, but they're within my country and within my reach, physical reach. But none of my close friends really use Blender, which sucks. Because if you are struggling with anything, sometimes it's much easier to get someone to help. Let me first get rid of these. Okay, so here's a tip. If you see this happening here and you want to fix it, all you have to do is just select those parts and scale them negatively until they go back like that. Like here again. Dravid. No, architects here use 3ds Max and engineers use Katia. I don't think I've heard of Katia. So, Dravid, where did you say where you came from? Where are you from? Because if you're surrounded by architects, man, that's being lucky, because you have access to a lot of professionals. I've been talking to a lot of helpful people in Punisher's 3D Discord. It's great. Oh, that's amazing. And what are you talking about exactly, if I may ask? Also, maybe another thing I could ask, is any of you employed online? Like, have you guys, not just online, have you got any jobs that are related to Blender, where you have to use Blender? He does a weekly render challenge. It's great. He does a weekly render challenge on his Discord. I guess I should be subscribed to his Discord. I should. Yes. Going to make these. I should join his Discord. That would be great practice. Yeah, I think so. Yes, all my work now, Blender 2.3, you used in it. Okay, I'm not sure what Bobby is you're saying there, but I couldn't get that. Just get trying to create some nice support beams, and should be the metamaterial. I was watching his YouTube videos today, and didn't he do a community challenge? Yeah, he did. He has. I think he has made over 4, maybe 3, but I've definitely watched his last one, which was amazing. And he's really become very successful after leaving Corrido crew. I'm not saying he's becoming successful because he left Corrido crew, but usually when someone leaves a company like that, a successful company like that, you never get to hear about them anymore. But he's doing quite great for himself. Add in a few extra details. The reality ones and dynamic machine one was the most recent one. Yeah, the alternative realities, yeah. I watched that. So which one did you think is better, the alternative realities or the dynamic challenge? Keep working hard, you will make it. Hopefully, yeah, that's the hope. And that is great advice, and I will take it. I think I'm just going to cut this around here. But dynamic machines would pick because I made one. Okay, so you would be a little bit biased because you participated in the dynamic challenge. That's amazing. %. Isn't there any way you can copy the same pattern you're doing all over, so you would not need to do it a lot? That actually would be much more difficult. There's a way to do it, but it would be more difficult than just recreating it from scratch, than creating the patterns from scratch yourself. Because you can copy it and then you have, yeah, it would be more work. I'm just going to select these loops so that I can give them a nice bevel. Okay, some of them are not really behaving. So I want this to be at the start of each piece. The others were amazing too. So many good artists. Yeah. A lot of people participated, and a lot of professionals. You could see that these are people who really know what they're doing, and they put in quite a lot of work. And we can also add in some wires here. So let me create a few curves. The support beam to the other side. Oh, to this side. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. I should have it there too. Something like that. So let's just add in. Let me make sure that. Okay, so it was great watching you. Got to get back to work. Thank you for coming around, Dravid. It's amazing to have hosted you around here. So thank you. Are you gonna mirror the support beam? Yes, I have mirrored that. Let's see what else we can add here. I want to have some lines going through these here, so I can do that by, let's see, just need to add a curve object. And I can just use these. Just give it this material. Just want to have these beams. Booleans for the support beams. You could do that, but I think it would also be, it will take you around the same time because you have to do some cleaning up. Actually, maybe not. Maybe the booleans, using booleans would have been a faster way. I didn't really think of that, but yeah, I think maybe, yeah. I just need to have some wires go up and down. And if you want them to be twisted, you can use the rotate, and then you can have them a bit twisted like that. Maybe that's a bit too much. So for example, in this spot here, I can just have this a bit rotated. Or I can, if you select the last one, turn on proportional editing, you can make them, all of them, be a little bit, give them a little bit of twist in there so that they are not too uniform. Design store, thank you. Glad you like it. Let's try adding a light somewhere here, just so we can see. Okay, that's okay. So this is becoming a bit heavy for my computer. You can see it's lagging. It's getting a bit lagging, especially if I'm in render mode. But if I switch to this, then becomes very, very easy to work in. That's why you see I'm going to be switching between those. Let me actually first make these a bit larger. How did you make that cut with insert? Which one? This, you just hit I twice. You just hit I, and I should be able to. If you mean these cuts here, let me actually show you. So for example, if I wanted to make this into a cut, I can hit insert, and that should do it. Then all I have to do is just delete. Yeah. I think I'm going to make these a bit, make sure these don't have any modifiers. I just have them on the side. Actually, what I can do is, yeah, I deleted the faces. So let me actually make this more detailed. Just going to do the same thing here. I think I can have this around around here. I'm going to use the solidify modifier just to give it a nice extrusion. Let me first apply the scale. So I'm interested to know how many of you use add-ons in your projects? Like, how often do you use add-ons? Do you use them quite a lot? Let me just also give this a mirror. And scale this on the x-axis. Give it the same material. Like that. And now what I want to do is I want to detail this a little bit better. So I'm going to almost always for HDRI and whatnot. So what kind of other add-ons are you using? I use a lot of add-ons. What add-ons are you using right now? Gomez La Rosa. Because this is what I usually use. Only in built-in add-ons like TreeGen and Ant. Ant, I don't know what that is. What does it do? I use add-ons a lot. Yeah, Blender is really a bit limited if you don't use add-ons. Because especially for me, mostly I use the asset library a lot, and it came as a result of needing to reuse some of the models I have. Let me show you some of my folder of models. So if I go into my models, you can see every folder here has models in them. Okay. Now this is art projects. Look at all those are models. And the models I could reuse in other projects, but Blender doesn't really have a way to manage your models. So you'd have to open one object. So normally what I used to do is just go in, open a project, say I wanted to add this first aid kit, which is something I can actually add in. I would have to open this project up, then copy the project I want. Let me just make sure that I'm using view layer. Copy the project I want. You can see, and this has a lot of parts, so I would have to copy one by one. Control C, and then paste it into the other project, which is which is here. Then I would have to paste it in like that. Now, if you have hundreds of projects, that would take quite a lot of time. So instead now using my add-on, I just let me get it. I just select it, add it to my library of assets. So let me just get it to my decals. This is a collection. I just want to set it as a collection. I call it first aid kit. Do a quick render preview of I actually do this again, and then I'll add it, and then I can use it as many times as I want. I just have to find it in my decals. So it works like the promised asset browser that they are working on, but except that this is here and I can use it anytime, and then I'm done. I use Botanic, Quick Shape, and some others. So what does Quick Shape do? Do I know that one? I don't think I know that one. I'm using the Blender built-in asset library for my custom models. Is it good? Because I've tried using it, but it requires, it kind of looks like it requires a lot of setup to do. And I think unless they have changed how it works, you have to set it up for every project you're working on, or at least you have to select the library that you want to use it in. What is the model add-on called? What do you mean? What? I'm not sure what. If you're asking for this, this is called the asset library add-on, and it's available in the Blender market. Blender Kit is a nightmare too. Blender Kit. Yeah, it looked promising in the demos I've seen, so I'm not very sure. I haven't really tried it out. Let me just have that hang there like that. Maybe. Let me see, what else can I add in here? Done. Can you tell about your system specs? Let me just show you my task manager. You can see this is my CPU. This is the amount of memory I have. And this is, where is it? GPU, this is my GPU, it's at 1063 GB. Yeah, you have to set it up a bit, and I had to split each asset into its own blend, otherwise it would take a long time to load them. Yeah, that's one of the issues I had with it, because it's quite a lot of work to set up. So that's why I use my own, which I think is much easier to use. And by the way, let me just leave a link for it if you want to get it. Where is my links? Where are my links? Let me just show you my website here. Oh, by the way, this is a website you can go on to see some of the renders I've made on the channel. I haven't posted much, but I'll be posting more renders there. And by the way, you can also join the Discord. I should actually be promoting that more, because I've seen a lot of you are posting their work there, sharing their work there, and it's amazing to see some of what you have done. So complete the link work in the new character. Yeah, so Zigzag, Dr. Zigzag, this work is just amazing. I think I saw you in the chat. This is just amazing. So if you want to share your work, let me actually just leave a link. Now that would be amazing. Fiesti Kaveda, Kadava. Man, I'm currently modeling my room. That would be amazing to see. You can share some of the work here, and it's just amazing to see some of the things you guys have come up with. Just look at these illustrations, man. I'm not very good at illustrating, so, but I can definitely see what good work looks like, and the amount of work that goes into it. Just look at this. Amazing. Some of these I haven't seen. Okay, this requires me to go to YouTube, but I've seen this, I think. Yeah, I've seen this. Some mountains. Epic. Yeah, so if you want to, yeah, look at that. Product design. Amazing. But if you want to get to see the add-ons I'm using, I'm mostly using my own add-ons. You can see I have the decals add-on, which I haven't touched in this project, but I think we might need to add it to use it here. you can see, so the difference between the add-ons I buy and the add-ons I use myself is that usually when I'm working on an add-on, I don't think of the idea first. I just first get into a problem and then come up with a solution. Like this, the asset library, it was a way to manage my assets. And then the quick decals add-on, which I haven't used. So for example, you can see, instead of creating this, if I wanted to maybe break this up, let's say if I wanted to, what can we use it for? For example, if I want to add some details here, I can easily find some decals. And which ones should I use? Yeah, I guess a sci-fi scene would have something like this, so we can use that. So I can add it in here. Do a quick rotation. Something like this. And I can also use a shrink wrap. If I go to my shrink wrap, I can add something like this. Okay, why is it going up? Okay, yeah, just wanted it to be there. And you can see it follows the contours of the object. And right now it's inside, so I can just bring it out a bit. And just bring it down a bit. So because this is over it, but this is how it would look. Maybe just bring it. Let me just work in local mode because then it's much easier to move. You can see how it takes on the contours of the surface. You can shade smooth, and you can even $11. I might buy it. That would be amazing if you get it because it helps me pay the bills. You see, this looks a bit plain. I want to make it a little bit old, so what I do is go to my resources and find some nice texture. I can make it so that I can make it look a bit scratched. Let me find something like which one would be better? Let's try this. Now you can see with just a few clicks I can make it look like that, and I can control the contrast. And can even scale up this. Nice. Yeah, it is my script. I make add-ons because I'm a programmer. So let me show you some. So there is this, the decals add-on, and then the asset library add-on, and I also have another one, the cloth library add-on for making cloth. Where is my link? So yeah, they're here. Let me just load them. Going to get this today. I think I need this add-on in my life. That would be amazing. So yeah, and the great thing is that if you have any issues with it, I'm always available to help you fix that. And I usually want that feedback. You can see how it works here. This is the decals add-on. This is the asset library add-on that I'm using here. Again, I was kind of struggling to reuse my models because, Blender doesn't really have a way to manage your assets. So I created this one just so I can easily reuse the models I made. Then I have these. It's just for clothing. There is some pre-made for characters. I can use it to dress up my characters and things like that. Let me just leave this link in the chat again if you want to check out the page. And speaking of the asset library, let's look at what other things we can add in here. If we go to the decals, nothing interesting here. But if you have an idea of an add-on and maybe you're not a programmer, you can actually that is actually not a good thing to ask because sometimes people sometimes share ideas without even having any. So what I mean is that you could share an idea you have with me that I already have, and then we might have problems thinking that I took your idea. So let's not share ideas like that, so because that might cause a few issues. Hello everyone, a great lesson. I love space. Can you make realistic space station modeling? Yeah, that I can do. But in a live stream, that would be quite a lot of time. Maybe what we could do, I can make the parts. Actually, maybe I could do that. Because I don't think it would be that complicated. Because I'm thinking it would require me to have a lot of assets pre-made so that the live stream is not too long. Let me just put in this keypad. Space is the best. Yeah, guess it is. I wouldn't be able to tell because I've never been there. Rotate Y 180. This looks a bit flipped. I don't know why. Okay, this just mirrored. You just need it to be like that. Please, do you normally do Blender live streams every Friday? So my schedule is I live stream on from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The only days I don't live stream is Monday and Tuesday because I'm mostly doing programming. Do you have an attestation site? I do, but I rarely post anything there. You know, there are quite a lot of places you have to handle. So there is Facebook, there is Twitter, there is Instagram. So sometimes it's just overwhelming. So I make the accounts, but then it becomes very difficult to post anything there because it's a bit too much sometimes. Actually, I can use a light here. This light I can add, and we don't need these wires, so I can get rid of them. Just go in here. Have that light to give off light when someone is trying to use the keypad. I think let's go back to the lighting and see. I think we need to reduce the light here. This light, make it a bit dim, so something like 50. Maybe this is also giving off a bit too much light. So make it a bit dim. I was working on this part here, which I'm forgetting. this here. Just what I wanted was to have a few of these. Let me see if I do this. Would that work? Delete. Okay, that is me. We need a little bit more. So let me ask, what improvements would you want to see in Blender if you had at least the ability to kind of influence the direction of Blender? Where would you want it to focus on mostly? Because for me, I think they need to focus a little bit more on Eevee and make it kind of have at least function more, be at the same standard as Unreal Engine, because right now Unreal Engine beats Eevee in rendering. I guess that's a testament to the amount of time that Unreal Engine has been and the money that they are behind. Yeah, actually agree. Do you agree that they should focus on Eevee? Because yes, Cycles is amazing, but for a lot of artists, Cycles is a bit limited. You need to have a lot of resources, especially if you want to do, if you're going to render a lot of frames. But with Eevee, if it gets to the level of Unreal Engine, there's quite a lot we can use it for. And I think I've seen some animations being rendered with Eevee already. Make Cycles as fast as Eevee. I don't think that is going to be possible. Otherwise, you would have seen V-Ray being as fast as Eevee, Redshift being as fast as Eevee, but because these are offline renderers, and I think they use ray tracing, which requires a lot of computation power. I have a lot of Unreal Engine experience. I mostly release a game, but yeah, Eevee feels so underpowered. Yeah, it's a bit underpowered compared to Unreal Engine, but also Unreal Engine has been around for a while, and they have quite a lot of money behind them. I mean, they have Epic Games, which I think is the most successful game content company. So thank you, MarioSK, for subscribing. And if anyone else is new here and would like to subscribe, that would be amazing. Or leave a like. That would also be amazing too. Yes, adding an array. So is it only Eevee that most of you are interested in? Is there any? So only Fates Kaveda had a different opinion where he wants. No, not Akarumastu. Mats. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. But I think you're the only one who has a different opinion that you want Cycles to be focused on, made faster than Eevee, which I think, yeah, that's going to take a while. But everyone, I think, else agrees that some work might be needed for on Eevee. More work is needed for Eevee. Small thing, but I hate the look of the standard edition. Which standard edition? Which standard edition? Is it Blender thing or? Okay, so we want to add in a few extra details here. So I wanted to have some pipes under there and maybe some wires. We have our wires here, so I'm just going to duplicate those. How much polygons does it have right now? Let me check. Let me just duplicate this. Yeah, I should be checking this because it's also becoming a bit heavy on the computer. Should duplicate these more. So we have some running wires under there. Yeah, what do you think? What do you see when you initialize the program? Oh, for Blender. Sorry, for Unreal Engine for Blender. If it's for Blender, I think you don't really see anything when you are opening Blender. It just opens, and I think that's one of the advantages. So I don't want that to be taken away. It just opens immediately. We wanted to check the poly count. I think you go under, where is that? Yeah, statistics overlays. Right now we have over 1.5 million triangles. 788 and then 788,000 faces, 1.5 million edges, and yeah, it's quite a lot of. I wish I could model. What exactly do you wish to model? Because modeling, I also wish I could model like organic stuff, but I'm not very good at it. Like doing character modeling, I'm not very good at that one. Strong contrasting colors, poor layout, not ideal for a modeler. Oh, you're talking about Blender? Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm okay with the interface right now. Because this is not bad, I think. I kind of disagree with you on that. I think this is the best interface for modeling. I don't know, maybe because I don't know. Have you seen 3ds Max's interface? I think that's the worst. It's kind of dated. Maybe because I haven't used 3ds Max. Maybe they changed it. How many samples do you usually use to render animation using Eevee? I usually never go over 124 because if I do that, then either Blender crashes or it really takes very long to render a frame. They need to fix the viewport. I get insane lag when using the viewport shading, and the scene I'm working on starts to get complex. Yeah, I'm also having that issue right now. especially if I go to rendered view, you can see this is already starting to lag. So I can't work. I guess that's a limitation of my computer, but I don't know how something like 3ds Max would handle something like this. But yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be worked on, maybe improved. Jen's having trouble importing models. When I import an FBX or GLTF from Sketchfab, I can't figure out how to color it as original. It imports black and white. Guess I need to learn textures. Is that an issue with the texturing? Because usually things import well, unless if you're saying that if you are working within the workbench or viewport shading and everything comes out looking dark, you can easily fix that by switching on random colors, because when you're importing in, usually the default is single color, and the material of that might look a bit dark. So if you're working in viewport shading, just turn on random colors so that things look a bit better. But if it's a texture, thing, I'm not sure why that would be like that. Infasia is good with a low poly. Yeah. I've seen his work. And there is also, what is his name? I'm forgetting. But I think he has low poly in his name. He does a lot of low poly stuff, which is amazing. I like the UI. Yeah, me too. I like the UI. And Blender has gone through a lot of UI changes. So to go through another one, that would be, yeah, I don't know. This should be mirrored on the other side. My brother loves Maya. If he was my brother, he wouldn't be my brother anymore if he told me that. Joking. I never used it though. Yeah, I tried using Maya. I don't know. There was a point in my life where I was trying every 3D application. I even tried Houdini, but I ended up just sticking to Blender because, yeah, because my PC was quite bad. It was a potato, and it wasn't really good at anything. So, and those programs really require you to have a heavy computer. Yeah, I'm talking about Blender interface. Check out Heavy Poly. Yeah, I think it's called Heavy Poly. Polyconfig. I'm not sure about, I don't know who Polyconfig is, but I know Heavy Poly. Does Brahmacharya actually increase creativity? Brahmacharya. I'm not sure what that is. Is there a thing I don't know about Maya? I guess that's a question for yourself, not me. I wouldn't know. Have you had a look at geometry nodes yet? Yeah, I've even tried it, but in its current state, I think it's more catered for technical people, not really artists, because it's too technical right now. It's very hard to figure out how things work unless you really dive into the math and know things quite a lot. Until it gets a bit easier, I'm not even touching it. That's why you don't see a lot of people using it. It's mostly people who want to dive into the technical bit of things. But usually when I'm trying to do something, I want to get the idea out of my head really fast, instead of just trying to figure out how things work. That's why I'm still sticking to this, to the usual way of doing things, because I can do things much easier, much faster. I think we are, let's look at this in cycles. Hopefully things don't crash. Let's change to GPU, which is going to make things lag, and turn on denoising, which is supposed to get things look better. but might also crash the stream. But we are 2 hours. Oh, this looks nice, much better than I thought. Except I would prefer the lighting to be a little bit more modest, not too bright like we have here. Scene looks good. Great, thank you. We have done this together, so kudos to you as well. Want to ask something personal. Where are you from? That's not personal. I'm from Uganda, East Africa. It's a very small country, maybe not that small. Well, actually, maybe slightly larger than England. So maybe not too small. But just to clarify, Heavy Poly wrote a series of scripts for Blender, free called Heavy Poly config files. Oh, and what do they do? Let me see. What can I do? What do I want to change the light here? But yeah, I want to change the size. YouTube is not receiving enough data. Things look so. Okay, YouTube is screaming at me, but I think things are okay. Or maybe, yeah, because I'm in cycles, things are getting a bit laggy. Let me try changing this to. Okay, where is all my light coming from? Because I'm seeing plenty of it. Let me first select all lights. I want to hide some of these lights. Oh, because we have some emissive light in the scene. I think it's also adding on to other light in the scene. So let me just shader editor. Okay, I want to reduce the light here to something like 10. And the light for this object to be something like 10 as well. I come from Reunion Island. Where is that? See, this is why I love the internet. I can watch an artist from Uganda make cool stuff and interact with. Yeah, that's just amazing, man. And I also get to learn about islands like the Reunion Island, which I've never heard of. Is that a country? My geography is not average. I know a few places, but I've never heard of that one, which maybe my geography is actually basic and average, because I thought I would know a lot of places, but I don't think I've heard of that. Okay, so I need to reduce the lighting here. Have that at 0. Trying to see where most of the light is coming from. Let me first select this, hide. Okay, so most of the light is coming from these emission planes. So let me see if I hide this. Point light. I just subscribed. That's amazing. You're doing God's work. Thank you. Design store. Holy hell, Reunion is off of the coast of Madagascar. Wow. Oh, you're actually my neighbor. That's a few kilometers away, which is amazing. Amazing. I think we are lacking some details here. This detail here. I'm just going to get this mirror it on the other side. So this is how things look without any lighting. Now we add in the extra light. Okay, I want the backlight to be very intense. And I guess instead of just turning the lights down, I can go to the color management and turn down the exposure. Science Store, you're really being exemplary, and commend you on that. Thank you for subscribing. And if everyone wants to be exemplary like Science Store, subscribe. It is amazing. Another one. Pao Piang Vargas, thank you for subscribing. Another one being exemplary and amazing. Thank you. Okay, where are my lights? I should have lights here. Okay, let's switch back to Eevee. Another one. E16158819. Do you even remember that when you were logging in, or you're just saving that name? You saved your passwords and in the browser, so you just log in, because I would forget. But thank you for subscribing. Really amazing. Okay. Problem is Blender is being very laggy right now, and I want to fix the lighting a bit, because some of these lights are not adding much to the scene. Yes, let's see. Let's go look at lights one by one. So I'm just going to select all the lights by selecting them by type and move them to a new collection called lights, so I can easily manage them, because right now they are being a pain. The numbers spell spooky using the periodic table of the elements numbers. Look at this guy showing off. Who are you who is so wise in the how does it go? In the ways of science. That is Monty Python for you. Do you guys watch a lot of movies, and what kind of movies do you watch? Okay, so I don't know why my lighting has changed a lot. Something has changed about this scene that I don't get. This is not how our lighting was looking, and I can't figure out what it is. So first things first, I'm going to move this collection into the modules collection, and so that light gets a bit duplicated. Except this should be in this scene. Blender interface is really cool. Yeah, I think it is. Heavy polyconfig files offer an alternative aesthetic and streamline the modeling process. I guess I'll check them out. Are they in relation to low poly modeling, or? Ah, I see what happens. So somehow all the lights got reset, their position got reset. That's why we're struggling here. No, it's not yet. It's not there yet. Oh, you mean the user interface? Yeah, of course, it needs more improvement. There is always room for more improvement. So if you're comparing it to other, Barry Ryan, what other interfaces are you comparing it to, and which one of the 3D applications do you think has the better interface? I'm into anything Marvel and Star Wars, but I will watch almost anything, especially if it is sci-fi, a fantasy, parody, or dark. Yeah, almost read my mind. That's exactly what I would watch. But the problem now is that most ideas have already been done, and I guess that's the issue with getting older, is that most of the movies, the stories you watch kind of look a bit repetitive. You have almost watched every story. So actually, that's why you see a lot of. That's why most of the movies don't seem as fun as they used to be, because they're just washed down versions of what you used to watch. Yes, surface modeling. Okay, so you're meaning that every polyconfig files add-on is for mostly surface modeling. Get it? I like everything that is not ordinary, like sci-fi. So then you would like, I think you love watching Black Mirror. Have you watched it? Because it's the pinnacle of, I think, sci-fi movies. They are pretty bad. ZBrush is the worst though. Yeah, I've tried ZBrush and yeah. So in your opinion, which is better? Yeah, all of them are really bad, but which one do you think is a little bit better? I'm not critical of Blender though. They have done so much for me. Yeah, I believe so. Sometimes it's only when we get a little bit critical that the application will improve. So it's not a bad thing to become a little bit critical, I think. I think we can also complain a bit sometimes. You know, it's okay. And all the improvements all the user interface improvements that have been made to Blender, I think can be credited to Andrew Price's video. I don't know if you guys were using Blender then, when he complained about Blender's interface and got a lot of shit for it. And then, yeah, Blender 2.5 was produced out of that after his complaint. So you can attribute any interface changes that were made to him. Yeah, Black Mirror is a good series. I don't know if they are making a new season, because it's been a while. Yeah, it's really getting hard to work inside this project because it's getting a bit too heavy to handle anything. I can say everything is becoming very, very laggy. And the more lights are adding, the more laggy it's going to get. Unless we hide all these modules and get them off screen. Hopefully that should improve things a bit. So let me just work within this module, knowing this is what is going to be repeated. Let me just get this. Okay, so I can just shut this off for a second and work on this part, on this one module. Hey, looks amazing. Thank you. Maybe lower the render samples. There are 60. Okay, let me put. Okay, there's 16 for the viewport. So I'm not sure. Maybe divide by 2. Maybe that would help. Okay. Let's just see how to fix this a bit. Get some lighting there. Another thing I would like to see an improvement in is that if we could get mesh lighting in Eevee, that would be amazing too, because mesh lighting is not supported, or emissive lights, emissive meshes do not produce illumination in Eevee. So I don't know if Unreal Engine, I think, supports mesh lighting, especially with the new lumen system. Working in real time with Eevee is summer. Okay, does that mean it's amazing, or is it amazing? Oh yeah, it is, because it allows you to see real-time previews. Just have this here, no mirror. Just going to bring this, add in an extra light here. $180. Do you watch manga? No, I don't. I don't. Unless you have any good suggestions that I can start with. And see, check them out. Check it out. Watch Demon Slayer. Let me see. Demon Slayer. Let me take a peek of that. Let me add that to my watch list, which is getting bigger and bigger, but let me see. Just put it in there. When I get some time, I'll check it out and see. Have you seen Akira? I've heard of it, but not really. I really rarely watch anything nowadays. But I can definitely, my God. Did you guys catch that? Oh, thank you for the purchase. Very appreciative of that. If you have any issues or any suggestions, you can let me know over the Discord and how you're finding the add-on. That would be amazing. Okay, so let's bring back the lighting. Yeah, if you guys have any other suggestions for anything to watch, I could use that. How many years of experience with Blender do you have? Just curious. It's really hard to count because it has not been very consistent. I've not been very consistent with but what what I can tell you is that I've been using Blender since Blender, what was it? Blender 2.73. I keep forgetting. 2.47. 7, not 7. It's 2.47a. Yeah, around that time. So that's around 2010, is it? Akira is a piece of art, 48 frames per second, hand drawn. That is a lot of work. Drawing 48 frames per second is a lot of work. Because that would mean that they drew 48 seconds, 48 frames per second for how long is a series? Is it a series or just a kind of a film, a movie? Just trying to add in some extra stuff here to make things look. The issue I'm having now is every extra light I add in just makes it a bit harder to render. Please check out Akira Awakened, shot by Ash Thorpe and Theo. They are 3D artists who did a turtle piece, a tribute piece for the Akira movie. It's on YouTube channel. It's 1 minute long. Let me just copy this Akira Awaken. Just add it to the list. Some of these here I just want to repeat watching. I think I've watched Catch Me If You Can. I saw a TikTok and decided I want to watch it again. Just want to add an area light. Here. Okay. Hope my PC doesn't explode, but this is how the module is looking, and I think this looks good. I don't know. What do you think? So then we can bring back our modules and look at the entire thing, and this is how it looks. Now go to the lighting, and yeah, I think that looks good as well. Nice, nice. So it's a movie. Oh, check it out. Check out Yasuke on Netflix. Yasuke. Nice. Sometimes now they are using a mix of 3D and pencil drawing to make production a bit faster. I think they did it with what is it called? What is it called? I'm forgetting what the series is called. The series where there's a lot of giant monsters. Have you seen the new trailer for Star Wars? Vision looks amazing. 7 and no, I have not. I've not seen. I usually get a notification for new movies because I like watching the. Getting a few pieces. I get some ideas from those movies, and haven't seen that. Yeah, Attack on Titan. Yeah, they to speed up the production of Attack on Titan, they had to switch to 3D, which kind of reduced on the quality a bit. If you were going for that, if you kind of a big fan of the stroke drawings that they had for the first season. 7 Anime Studios given the freedom to make 9 stories in the Star Wars universe. I should check that out, but yeah, you're saying it hasn't been, it's just a trailer, it hasn't been released. But I have to check out the trailer. Let me, I'll add that in. It's very good. Yeah, but I haven't watched I think I watched season 1. I haven't got time to go beyond that. Attack on Titan, it didn't turn out that well in my opinion. You can't really exaggerate the same way you do with drawings. Yeah, that's the thing. Because pencil drawings kind of give you a better, there are things that you can't really do. And 3D is great, but it has some limitations. Like to express, so for example, if you watch One Punch Man, which I think most of you have watched, there are things you can't really express using 3D very well. Like the super punches. Let me, One Punch Man. There's a fight scene that was happening. I think it was. I don't really. I think it was he was fighting these guys. I'm not very good at remembering the names. Was it this guy who punched him to the moon? That fight scene. There is no way you can express that in 3D, and it comes out as good as it was using pencil drawings. Like explosions are just at a different level. Who is this guy's name? I don't remember his name, but because I want to look up his other fight scene. Because there was when they were just showing strokes, literally drawn strokes. Not Saitama. I mean the this guy here in the background. His fight scene was just amazing. I gotta get to sleep. I have to work tomorrow. Try for a time for the stream. I will be back and look forward to seeing the posts on Discord. Thank you for being around, and yeah, you should get some sleep. And me, I don't really have to go anywhere for my work. I just stay at home, do everything here, which is amazing, but sometimes it can feel a bit repetitive. You're looking at the same walls all day, all year. Yeah, sometimes it's very difficult to tell when day and night ends. Yes, yes, this is Boros, I think. That fight scene, there is no way they could have made it in 3D and it would come out as good as it did. I could look it up on YouTube, but yeah, I don't want to get copy stricken. So there's no way you can do. Maybe you can create this, but the problem with 3D is that it's closer to realism than pencil strokes. So, and the closer you get to realism, the more you lose the effect of the pure energy that this kind of has. They try to demonstrate in these animations, because the closer you get to realism, then it breaks that illusion that of the world, because nothing here is close to reality. So if you coming closer to realism, then it breaks that immersion into the animation. Same, I edit from home. I feel it. Yeah. So you edit from home. What do you do exactly? Yeah, I know, because I've been doing this since 2015, and sometimes it can feel like a bit. I don't know how it feels, but it's very, very repetitive. So I had to save myself by doing some extra activities. Now I go out and do some swimming every now and then, maybe twice or 3 times a week. Otherwise, it can feel a bit, I don't know, like depressing. Yeah, it can be depressing. Wow, interesting, the anarchy vary. And Oh, interesting, Anakivari. Yeah, interesting, the Anakivari. Yeah. The closer, the more they make it far from reality, the better. But 3D brings it back to reality, which makes you break away from the illusion. Yeah, for example, the asteroid scene where he kind of tried to destroy the asteroid and destroyed half of the city. Yeah, I don't think it would look that amazing if it was in 3D. I'm caught up with the manga. It's just getting on. It just keeps on getting better. Which one? You should check out Zava Zikovic film of irradiation. Irradiation. So let me just copy this. Just put it there. I'm going to give this a quick render in Cycles and see how things come up, and I'll share that on Discord. And yeah, because right now I don't think I can add anything without crashing my PC. I see I'm trying to move to a different view, and everything is getting really laggy. Yeah, so that's going to be it. If you're still here, please leave a like if you haven't. But that's it. Thank you for coming around. Thanks for the chat. Does your decal add-on work with Blender Octane? Well, Blender Octane. So does Blender Octane, because the decal add-on, what it does, it just uses materials. So let me show you this decal here. And it's in here. So you can see this decal here just uses Blender materials that Cycles uses. So if Octane works with Blender materials or Cycles materials, then decals should work with Octane because it's just setting up materials for you and setting up some modifiers and maybe some other things in background. So if it works with if Octane can render Cycles materials or EV materials, then this should also not be a problem. It should be easy. Yeah, thank you, and that's it. This project is going to be available on my Patreon page if you want to get it, and also on my CG Trader account. Okay, I should be able to convert them to Octane materials then. You can do that, and let me know if there is anything I could do to make it easier. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to end the stream now, and yeah.